18 months postpartum, this is what we're dealing with. Now that my sewing room is done, I can actually use it for what its function is for. So here's the deal. I have a concert I need to go to in 2 days, and I want to make an outfit for it. Timing wise, it's on a pretty slim schedule, but I think I can do it. So let's see if I can make a dress to wear to a concert with this beautiful thrifted bedsheet. I found this bedsheet probably 8 years ago at a thrift store and instantly just fell in love. And I've wanted to use this bedsheet for a while, so I think that this is the perfect opportunity to do that. With that being said, let's get into drafting our pattern on the mannequin. When I start to mock out a pattern, I usually go for 2 variations. One is either put draping scrap fabric onto the mannequin so that I can play around with how everything's going to lay. Second thing I like to do is just look to what I already have made. So I have this mini dress that I made last summer. It's just a very simple mini dress, slightly snug to the body. With that pattern already put onto paper, I can then duplicate it and make it into the new pattern that will be great for this current dress. The detail that I want to add to this dress is a gathered keyhole at the center front. And what I have to do to alter the pattern to create that detail is by splicing up the pattern and opening it up to create more volume to then gather back down to its original form. If you like my content and you'd like to see more, be sure to subscribe for my next video. I think in my next video I either want to be crocheting, knitting, or the wild card will be upholstery. So let me know what you'd like to see and stay tuned for those projects. So this is the newly drafted one. This is just mock-up onto the mannequin. I think I will go with this one just because I like how it cuts around the arm. The only thing that I kind of have to decide, because now that it's going to be so snug, I think I have to put in a zipper, which I just get flashbacks to all the other times that I've had to put in zippers and they've just turned out really bad. Okay, no more dumb mistakes. Are you? We're not going to let that happen this time. We're going to learn from our mistakes of the past and move forward. So hopefully it won't be as bad as the last time I put in a zipper. So now that this is done, I can now move on to making the finalized pattern, and honestly, then we can go into cutting the actual material. Still a little nerve-wracking, but it'll be good, I think. Alright, this is what we're starting with. And honestly, it's not terrible. Just needs a little makeover. To the salon! One thing you want to just make sure is that whatever you take on this side, you have to match it on the other side so that you don't get a lopsided fit. I just basically work my way down. This is not the pretty part, but it is important to see it almost on a blank canvas so that you can see the shape and not be distracted by any pattern or anything that your final fabric will inevitably disguise. So right now, it's gonna look like this. As far as my sleeve goes, I might just try to do a mock-up onto this side to see how it would fit. I hate how sleeves are so constrictive, so I'm going to try to make it very free-flowing and not have too much gaping around the armpit. How am I gonna pin back here? So this is what we're working with, and it was quite a task to pin on the sleeve, but it's as good as it's gonna get. So now that it's off my body, I need to transfer all of the adjustments that I'm going to do, and there are quite a few, onto the paper pattern, as well as making a sleeve pattern out of this one. Did I forget to mention that the concert is on Saturday and it is currently Wednesday? So let's see how fast I can get this done. I know I'm going through this step really fast right now, but if you'd like a more in-depth process video on my drafting process, let me know in the comments. Let's cut into this bad boy. pattern on this in the way that it's a chevron, so I'm going to try to line that up with the middle part of the front and back, and hopefully it all turns out good. My voice is very quickly getting lost, but the bed sheets that I had picked out are a little bit sheer, so I'm going to add a second layer. This is just a muslin that I have extra, so I'm going to use it as a lining to make a second layer for the dress. I got the Lauren Bacall voice this morning, so I hope you enjoy. So today I really need to work on this dress to make sure that I have it done in time for the concert on Saturday. I would have more time tomorrow, but I have my dad coming over to help me with some household projects. He has a lot of power tools that I don't have, so it's nice to have his help for those types of things. So what I'm going to do today is put it all together, which seems very broad, but I think that it's gonna go fairly well. Knock on wood. The first thing that I want to do is attach the zipper because it's something that I usually forget to do until the last second, and it's always trickier to do when you have an assembled garment rather than doing it right now when the pieces are nice and flat. So my zipper is going to end here. So from the bottom of the skirt to this point, I'm going to do my regular stitch, and then I'm going to do a long stitch across here. I left a 1-inch seam allowance so that I have enough room to kind of work with. The only zipper I have that's going to be long enough is this invisible zip, which is not always my favorite thing to use because I feel like my machine does not like to work on invisible zippers. But we're going to try it, we're going to see how it goes, and I'm going to install this invisible zipper. So wish me luck. I'm really happy with how the pattern lined up with the zipper. What I'm going to do for the lining is sew where the attachment of the zipper will be to the bottom of the skirt and then iron down seam allowance for the rest of the top. So I think that went pretty well. I think zippers are always the hardest thing for me to do, so getting it out of the way right out of the gate was actually fairly successful. So now what I want to do is make two dresses, really. I'm going to sew the outer shell and the lining as two separate dresses, and then I'm going to put them together and attach them around the neckline and create a gathered keyhole centerpiece with a casing, so I can tighten a drawstring and scrunch the center. Time-wise, so far we're doing pretty good. I just gotta keep going. I want to finish it today, so really I'm trying to make this dress in one day. I can't say I've done that before, but if this is the first time, then I'll be very happy with that. I left this little opening here right at the top of the keyhole, and what I'm going to do is feed through the bias tape around and have it enter and exit through these two center points so that it will gather down and then tie right at the front. I'm going to do a small top stitch all around the neckline and keyhole, and then I'm going to make a casing for the keyhole so that I can gather it in. Next thing I'm going to do is take the outer shell and the lining and turn them right sides together and then sew along the side seams. Cutting notches into the seam allowance so that the curve of the waist can iron flat. Once the lining and outer shell are attached, I can flip them right sides out and have a fully lined dress. And you can finally start to see the vision. So for the fronts, I'm going to make some bias tape, so I just have to attach these two pieces before I can iron and turn it into a long cord. So this is what it looks like ungathered. I'm just gonna try to do this evenly. Oh, so far this is looking really good. I only have one alteration to make. I'm going to pull it a little bit tighter around the waist just because before, from the side view, it was hanging very forward. I like the look of it hugging closer to my body at the side, so I just have to make this one little change at the side. So once I fix this, I'm going to leave it to hang to kind of relax any kind of uneven hems so that at the end of maybe tonight I can go around and finish it. But the next thing I'm going to work on is the sleeves. The sleeves are pretty easy. I just have to sew the underarm and then I have to piece together the little peplum frill that I'm going to add. The peplum is made from 2 half circle pattern pieces that will fit around the end of the arm, and then I can attach it onto the dress. I just have to cut in at the seam allowance so that the ruffle will fully fit around the sleeve. Then I just pin it on and sew it around, and then it is ready to attach to the sleeve. Now that these are all done, I can attach them to the dress. I'll have sewn this dress within 4 hours, and that is something that I am very proud of. So, just need to attach these sleeves onto the dress, and then we can do all the little final touches. Hand sewing the lining to the zipper, as well as serging and hemming the outer shell and the lining together at the bottom of the dress. The last thing that I wanted to do was use my alcohol markers to give life back to the parts of the bedsheet where it's a little worn. I did some tests on the leftover fabric to see what markers combined to match the vibrant colors around the sleeves, and I think it makes a big difference. So it just took a few minutes to fill in these patches and it looks so much better. And it's time for the frill reveal. It's done. I love it so much. I think that this is like the perfect dress to pair for this pattern and this bedsheet. Sometimes you find bedsheets that are of nice quality and pattern and you just hope that you can do it justice when you're tearing it apart. And I think I did that this time. It fits like a glove. Obviously I made it for myself, so like if it didn't, then that's kind of like my issue. Even the center back just like fitting in perfectly, I'm just ecstatic. I love it so much. These sleeves are just so fun. I love just a slim sleeve into the giant bell. I'm so ready to wear this to the concert. If I'm ever so brave as to actually film any parts of it, I will put them at the end of this clip. It has been such a long journey this year of creating content on YouTube. I have learned so much in this past year just about filming, about presentation, about speaking, and all of that I hope to continue on learning and growing. So if you'd like to see that journey with me, be sure to thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.